6:30 p.m. ladies and gentlemen, good evening and thank you very much for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you for your evening talk show Viewpoint on DBS television. We are equally going live on Facebook, so if you're unable to watch us through your satellite, tune to Facebook DBS TV official, you'll be able to watch us. My special greetings tonight goes to those who are watching us from Ndop, and in particular I'll be greeting the family of Kimbi Immaculate. That said, we are honored again to have Apostle Tabi Simon, a young of Graceland Christian Assemblies. We had him sometimes back, and he's back again for issues as far as the society is concerned. Good evening to you, Apostle, founder of Graceland Christian Assemblies.
Good evening, Vanessa.
You're welcome.
Good evening, viewers. Thank you.
Our pleasure always having you, and thank you very much for always making our time.
The pleasure is mine.
Manga Venashus, you are welcome, and special greetings to you.
Good evening, Vanessa. Special greetings to you. Good evening to our viewers, those watching us from the southwest region, in Mamfe, in Mudemba, in Monya, Boya Road. In fact, in the southwest region, many of them are there watching us. Want to say good evening to you all. Despite what is happening in the southwest, life must continue.
Life must continue. That's it. Let us have the first part of the show. You are all welcome. Can we trace the hatred in our society to lack of love in our families? Apostle.
Here we can trace hatred in our family due to the problem of love, problem of hatred in our society.
Yes.
Yes. Lack of love is one of the sources of this problem, but not just that. There are many others.
There are many others.
And not just lack of love in the family. Lack of love within us as individuals before it gets to the family.
All right. Mangavina shoes.
Yes, we can trace it to lack of love.
Yes. And should we blame anyone for the situation of families in our society? Mangavina shoes?
Yes, Vanessa, we should.
Yes. Apostle.
All of us are to blame.
Everybody.
Yes.
Not just
because
anyone.
everybody has a role to play.
All right.
If everyone could play his role, then this issue would be eradicated.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Let us have the debate. In the first question, can we trace the hatred in our society to lack of love in our families? Apostle, you think that lack of love is just one of the main factors, but there are so many other factors, and looking at how the society today is evolving with so much hatred, with so much backlashing, with so much division, disunity among communities, among families itself. In short, there are too many for me to mention them.
Yes, as I said, lack of love is one of it, but not just lack of love in the family. Because, yes, it's true, the society, the base of the society is the family. But now when we dig deep at the level of the family, the base of the family is the people. Okay, and so before anything happens in the family, it begins with us as individuals. Now the love that someone has, before we see love being generated in the family, it must start from us. When you read Psalm 11 verse 3, the Bible says, if the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? The family is the foundation of a community, and in the family we constitute that family. So now for the family to be in order, individually, personally, we are supposed to be in order. For the love to spread in the family, it begins with us first. Am I communicating? Now, so the family,
it begins with us.
It begins with us, the members of the family.
Okay.
We must love ourselves. Okay. Now, when you go to Matthew chapter 22, from verse 35 down to verse 40, the Pharisees came to tempt Jesus, a teacher of the law. He said, now, which is the greatest commandment? Jesus said, you love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. He said, that's the greatest. He said, and the second is like unto it. You love your brother as yourself. And now, this love of the brother as yourself, hear what he said. He did not say you love your brother. He said you love your brother as yourself. So love begins with self. Until you love yourself, until you can produce love, then can you give it out.
Self-love.
Yes, self-love first. So now, the lack of love in the family is because people don't even love themselves. So if they don't love themselves, love cannot be found in the family. One, okay. Now, he said if the foundations are destroyed. So he talked of foundations. He did not say foundation. So there are a number of them. Are you getting that? So one is the absence of love. Now two, another foundation. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Another foundation is God. Okay. In the absence of God, where we don't put God at the center of the family, hatred must generate. Okay. Now, when you go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 11, it says, no other foundation can anybody lay than that which is laid, which is Jesus Christ. When Jesus is absent from a family, love will not be, and hatred will spring up in the society. And the last of them, John chapter 1 from verse 1, in the beginning was the word. Now, where the word of God is not there, love cannot be, and the society will be in problem. And now, putting love aside, now, or talking of love, in the absence of love, there will be things that are present. As I said, there are a number of them. There are things that will be present, one like pride. You see a lot of tension in the community, a lot of hatred. Some of it it generates from pride. Are you getting that? Pride, somebody esteeming himself to be better than others. Are you getting it? It comes from pride. And now, in the course of somebody thinking that he's more than another person, you just generate automatic hatred. The person will hate you for no reason. Because, yes, you look down at him, it's like it's nothing to you. You automatically, hate you. Now, we have superiority complex. Somebody feeling he's superior to others. And the people he feels is superior to them will hate him. Am I communicating? And you have a situation where somebody, and then another person can be suffering from inferiority complex. Are you getting that? Now, he feels he's inferior. Are you getting it? And so just for no reason, he does not even say why he should love this person. It generates hatred. Okay, you leave that aside. You come to issues like frustration. People are frustrated, and that frustration ends up to cause hatred. Some are frustrated. Some feel they are less privileged. Some feel they are cheated in the society. And because they are cheated, he sees somebody getting better than what he was supposed to get. And some feel they are cheated because one, perhaps ethnic background. Okay, geographical location where they come from, and so they feel that they are not treated the way they're supposed to be treated. And when they see others enjoying certain privileges, they develop hatred for that individual or for that group of people. Are you getting it? And some now failures. Are you getting that? Now they are frustrated because some have failed in life, and they see those who have made it and they take it for something else. There are people we know, there are people who have gone through perhaps professional schools, they passed normally, and somebody somewhere just believe that it's like they did something before getting there. Okay. And then now there are others that are frustrated. He's from school. Okay, he has been out and he has no job. And he sees somebody that he feels that he studied better than the person, having a certain job or whatever, and hatred begins. So the chain goes on and on. Are you getting that?
Right.
Yeah. So I talked of things like that. I talk of shifting blames. Okay. If you want to just give me, I talked of shifting blames. Okay. Some people, they have failed. Some people, things have not worked out with them. There's that tendency of shifting the blame to others. Are you getting it? And holding others responsible for your failure. So in the course of that, he will tell you that things are not okay with me because A did this, B did that. You're getting that? It develops hatred. Now, there's another one of self-pity. There are some people who believe that others must pity them. I'm sorry to say that. There are some people who believe that others must pity them.
It's an obligation.
Yes. He believes that it is his right to get what you have at hand. But then it's yours. You choose who to give and who not to give. And he feels that he's really down. He expects that you can do something and you did not do it. And it develops hatred. Okay.
And so that's how it extends.
It goes on and on.
All right, Apostle,
jealousy,
in the course of the program,
laziness.
In the course of the program, you elaborate more on that and probably tell us maybe how can someone love his or herself.
Okay.
Mangabinashus, you think that we can trace the hatred we have in our society nowadays because of the lack of love in our families?
Actually, Apostle said it. The family is the sail of the society. what we have as the society today is a direct reflection of the kind of families that we have. If we have a corrupt society, we are now having corrupt families. If we have a godless society, it's because we now have godless families. When we say that there is this lack of, love in our families,
in our society,
in our society, because it is in our families. Most of our parents today, they have abdicated from their roles as parents. They don't carry their role again as parents. That is why we have developed this materialistic, mentality where you don't think that you have a duty to sit with your family. I remember somebody posted something on social media that you need to tell your family where you are, which means if my wife should know where I am now, if she doesn't know where I am now, there is something wrong somewhere. I should know where she is now. If I don't know where she is, what I mean by know where she is, I mean, if they ask me, where is she? Leaving the house, I know that she was supposed to be here today. Other things can come in between. That is acceptable.
But at least the principle.
Which means we should be able to communicate to each other that I am going to work. From work today, I will go here and then come back to the house.
There should be some accountability.
Of course.
And traceability, because if something happens,
you are the one to
the one. They'll ask you, where is your wife? And you should be able
to say that
she
was
here.
Now, but we have now a kind of family where you just get out of the house and say, I am coming.
I'm coming.
Where are you? What do you mean by I am coming? Somebody asks a question. I am coming. Has it become a place? So parents have abdicated from their role.
Parents will just leave without saying where
even somebody will never say I'm coming.
The kids.
Yes. Now, when you do that, your children, your immediate family, they don't communicate. They don't feel your presence. The kind of life that we live as a family extends to the society, and we now find a society of individuals. There's no community life.
Community life is no longer there.
It doesn't exist again. And somebody was saying something that we've had a community where that's why you see people now build with fences. You don't know what is happening in that fence because we are now secluding ourselves.
Everybody. And prisons have been fenced.
Prisons, of course.
So indirectly, people have put themselves
in prisons.
Okay.
So we don't live a community kind of life again. It is that kind of secluded life. Somebody called either stinginess, either self-centeredness, either selfishness. All this put together, you find yourself. Everything is you. That is why you don't care about who lives next door.
Yes.
You don't care about who is there. It starts from the family.
And then now the person starts feeling that it is his right for you to know.
Of course.
He expects you to be his keeper.
Of course.
Okay.
So all these things put together, there is that lack of love in our family that creeps into our society, that reflects itself into our society. If our parents should be able to sit with our children, the kind of societal of children misbehaving in our society, where are these children coming from? They are from our families.
Yes.
Parents don't sit down with their children and tell them that you don't do this. You don't sit down with a parent and tell them that you don't see an elderly person.
I will tell you that there are some parents that intentionally teach their children to hate others.
Of course. And that is it. From the family. Tell me how that child will get into the outer society now and will try to appreciate another human being as a human being. Where in the family? Okay. What about the family where you see parents fighting? How would that child live in the society? Fighting is a norm. Fighting is a normal way of doing things according to that child. It started from the family. We are having this kind of family where everybody a society where everybody wants to amass as much wealth as possible. Everybody is becoming so egoistic in the family, in the society. Okay. It starts from the family. If you people cannot know that in the family, the well-being of my brother, the well-being of my sister, the well-being of my wife, the well-being of my husband, of my children depends on me. It is the same thing that we do in the society. That is why when you go for occasion, you see somebody, because they say you test somebody's integrity when he is in front of food. You see somebody with this disposable plate, and I think I would like that people should even use this disposable plate.
Because they can't carry much.
We cannot carry much past also. Because when you put much, the plate will give way. So if somebody is struggling to mount as much food, look at the crowd that is behind.
Forgetting, yes.
Look at the crowd that is
there's
standing
a long line
behind.
standing.
Because you are in front of this food, you want to take 10 slices of fish or meat to put it in.
And there are 400 people.
And there are 400 people. So look at what the quantity that we have. So these things put together, it starts from the family. That is why such type of a father, such type of a woman, such type of a child, place that man in front of the pot of food in the house. That's the way he will dish. He will forget that my children have not eaten, my wife is still coming, or others are still coming. So all these things start from the family. If we know that selfishness, if we know that we are our brother's keeper from the family, once we get out, what concerns the other person
will become your concern.
Will become our concern. And in that case, we live a kind of brotherly life. I remember my elder, my grandfather used to tell us that in those days, they never tell you that, come and let us eat. In those days, in the village, it was difficult not to eat. Because if you don't have what to eat today, just go to the next neighbor and you eat. But today, how will you go to the next neighbor when there's a fence? Okay. And they used to tell us that when you come to town, when you come to town, they will tell us, when you visit, you know what they do? They give you an album so that you go through, look at pictures. They don't think of entertaining you. And white man mentality, they have tell us that when you want to visit me, call me and tell me that you are coming, because so that we know how to prepare that you are coming.
In Africa, we don't do that.
In Africa, we did not do that. You cook food because you don't know who is going to visit. So all these things, it starts from the family, and from the family it creeps to the society. So if we are decrying lack of love in our society, it is directly lack of love in our family.
The root cause is
if we make our if we make our families a place where human beings can live, our society automatically will become a place where human beings can live.
Anyway, like there's a popular saying where people do think that your families would travel miles or spend millions to bury you, but when it comes in assisting you, nobody is there.
Nobody is there.
In the second part of the question, should we blame anyone for the situation of families now in our society? Apostle, you think that
I think we should
all of us should be blamed.
All of us should be blamed, because everybody has a role to play in an area where, like, some of those who really exercise hate, that you see it everywhere written on them. A good example are those who have been like victims of rape. Yes. And so this particular group of people, at times when some of these things were happening to them, there were people around who could rescue them. Yes, it's true, as I said, somebody feels frustrated, he has been to school and came out without a job, and somebody just feels that he does not have. He thinks that you is better, you should stretch a hand. It will not cost you anything if you stretch that hand, perhaps. I have seen a situation, if you stretch that hand, you save so many things. I've seen situations where somebody was like supposed to be robbed, but because when passing, he just say, hey, hi guys, how are you people, this and that, oh please, he knows these guys are jobless, these are just guys in the quarter, okay, have this 200 francs and this one for, and he's passing with his car. The day that guy hears that they want to hijack that car, he'll come on and let him. Yeah, he'll come on and let him. So I believe that if we can just stretch some man of love, if we can show love to one another out there. But then, as I said, how then do we stretch it out when we don't love ourselves? Are you getting that? So the first thing is, once we love ourselves, we can be able to love others. Once we love ourselves, the community will take shape. Once we love ourselves, there will be the fear of God. There will be respect for one another. You're getting that? And there will be that care, there will be that concern. So it boils down to love. But then, in cases where people at times want to be pitied, I just want to also tell the viewers out there that no matter how ugly the situation is, you can bounce back and come out of it. Never you shift blames. Once you get to that state where you want to believe that somebody else is responsible for your misfortune, somebody else is responsible for what is not going right, once you get to that point, are you getting that? You'll find it very difficult to come out of it. So I want to challenge somebody out there. In that situation, you can say, yes, I didn't school because my father died. Yes, there have been people who went to school without fathers, without mothers, who were out there doing some this or that. Yes, you say, I came out from school, I don't have a job. You need to create one. You don't need to be employed. There's work everywhere. Are you getting that? So it just depends on how you look at it, what you call a job. I've seen a case where somebody does not want to do any kind of thing. He wants just a job of a manager, a director.
They want something very luxurious, like the white collar jobs.
Unfortunately, there is no white collar money.
Yeah. Then yes, exactly.
White collar jobs. There's no white collar money. So get whatever you can do, if only it will not involve you in crime, and keep going. One day things will be fine.
One day. So, Apostle, how can I love myself?
How can you love yourself? Now, how can you love yourself? you can love yourself by caring much about that which concerns you. Now, what we cited a case here a short while ago. Somebody committed suicide. Okay. Now, how can you love yourself? You can love yourself directly grounded on what God says in His words. When you start putting it in practice, how can you love yourself? You love yourself by not wanting to, like, how do I put it? Okay, let me take it from the examples. Let me take it from the examples, perhaps we'll understand how to love yourself.
All right.
Now,
or maybe while we come back to the question, let's get the point of Mange Financials, who thinks that we should, whether we should blame anybody of what is happening in our families. Mange Financials?
Yes, Vanessa, when I say we should, there are people to blame. We blame the society first. We blame, in fact, all of us belong to a family. There is nobody who doesn't come from a family. And there is no family that is exempted from all these things that we are saying. It is not because you think that you are rich, that you think that you are family. No. We all contribute to the kind of society that we have. And like somebody said, when we talk of change, change begins from each and every one of us. It begins from you. The society cannot change overnight if we don't change our mentality. We don't change our mentality of love of neighbor. Know that this is another human being. If this is another human being, what do you think? Because they say, do unto others what you want it done unto you. That's the golden rule. If you do unto others what you want, how you want to be treated, I think we'll live a good society, a good life. Because what happens here is, if I knew that I hurt you, that if I hurt you, you would be annoyed, you would be angry, you feel pain. These are the same things that have done to me. I will not. Yes, I will not appreciate it.
Or ask yourself the question:
if it were to be done to me, how would I appreciate? How would I?
How will you feel?
So, once you put this question before you proceed every action,
like do unto others what you want to be done to you.
In fact, we would not be. We'll change the way we do things. We'll change our mentality. We'll change our way of doing things. But if we want to see blame in the other person, when you see blame in the other person, you remain standing on the same spot. Don't see blame. Blame yourself first. I am responsible for what is happening.
Just believe that you didn't do something right. Yes. That's why it's like this.
Correct.
And you learn from that and you move forward.
And correct. Once you identify that I'm one way or the other responsible in this issue, what should be done?
You will improve.
Correct. And because they say, St. Augustine says, more grace lies in rising, not in falling. If you fall and remain there, you remain there. It is when you struggle to rise that you are given the grace to rise. And rising means you change from where you are, because you cannot rise to the same position. You rise to something higher. And if you remain lying down, you remain on the same spot. So it is identifying where you went wrong, identifying what is not good in the way you are, in your approach, the way you do things, and then carry out the initiative or take the initiative of improving, of changing, of moving on.
And the problem people have is that people don't want to change.
Of course, that's where the problem lies, because they prefer to lie on the same spot. Because
is that pride? Then is that pride, or what could it be?
To an extent, it's pride. To an extent, is greed. To an extent, it's indiscipline.
Yes.
Because for every change to be effected, there must be a level of discipline
and sacrifice.
Sacrifices. Yes. People don't like it. They don't want to change. They don't want to change their style. If you keep doing the same thing, you keep having the same results. So people don't want to change, but they want situations to change. You're getting that? And so you must be ready. It's pride. You must be ready to get to a point where you can say, I am wrong, or what I'm doing is not okay. Yes. And let me use a different approach. And from there, you can accept it. So a lot of people claim to be humble, but they are not meek.
Exactly.
Okay. They are not meek, because what is humility? Somebody pulling a long face or trying to be a very calm person, this and that. But meekness now is the ability to be taught. The ability
yes,
to be taught, or the ability to accept that I don't know, and you learn from someone else. Meekness is the ability to get to that point where you know that somebody else knows what you don't know, and you are ready to learn from the person. Then you can move forward. Yes.
Mange Financials.
Yes, also Vanessa, what we need to say here is just simply that we understand that the society is what it is because we have contributed negatively to this. And if we understand it that way, all we need to do is make a willful, Apostle was saying it, you must understand that I've done this and then change. Yes, change. And changing cannot come without sacrifice. Yes. You must sacrifice. You must be able to move out of your comfort zone to get into something uncomfortable for the better.
Yeah.
Yes, struggle to get into an uncomfortable zone so as to improve. In that way, we change the way our families look like. In that way, we change the way our society looks like.
You change even the way you eat.
You change even the way you eat.
You change the way you dress.
Of course.
You change the hours you spend outside.
All this,
Yes.
You
put
discipline
together.
yourself.
Yes, you discipline, because you cannot discipline yourself and you still live in the same comfort zone. It is not possible. Discipline means cut off those things that made you do or always make you do what you have been doing. And it has never been easy to cut them away. So when you cut them away, you must feel some lack, some void, some pain, some deprivation, all this put together for good.
So as you ask that, how then do you love yourself?
You love yourself.
Place value in yourself. That's just what I can see. When you place some value in yourself, there's a certain level of treatment that you begin to give yourself. And from there now you can do the same thing to others. Just as Mr. Mange said, you do unto others what you want them to do unto you. Because where there is love, Jesus said you love your neighbor as yourself. Okay. He said on these two hangs all the laws and all the prophets. Now, you love somebody. If you love somebody, you will not cheat the person. If you love somebody, you will not tell lies against the person. If you love somebody, you will not kill the person. If you love somebody, you will not abuse the person. Someone you love, you cannot even bypass the person without greeting. So once this is in place, the rest will follow.
And of course, and where there is love, there is unity, there is progress.
Everything just happens on its own.
Naturally.
You don't need to. People struggle in the absence of love, but when love is present, everything moves on.
Everything moves on. So looking now at the way our society is and so much hatred going on, what could you tell the individuals watching?
Yes. So now,
what can we do to remedy, to bring back that togetherness in Cameroonians?
To bring back that togetherness in Cameroonians, the first place is, a lot of people are wounded, a lot of people are injured, and so we should be ready. You should be ready to let go. You should be ready to let go. You should be ready to forgive, and you should really treat the next person. The key to put all of us together and eradicate this, the brotherly love. Are you getting that? Now, when we talk of the brotherly love here, that kind of love, like, this is my biological brother. We didn't choose to be born by the same mother. We didn't choose to be born by the same father. But whatsoever happens,
we didn't choose to come from this region or that region.
He remains my brother. When you have that mindset, there have never been a problem that people have problem. One person stopped bearing the father's name. We'll remain children of the same person. Are you getting that? So when the brotherly love, I can say that is what will cement the entire society.
That is what will cement the entire society. Thank you very much, Apostle, for coming.
You're welcome.
I'm not going back empty anyway.
Okay.
And hope that our televiewers also back at home, you must have learned one thing or the other in order to outburst that love you have in you by loving yourself. First of all, I will use this opportunity to greet a social media influencer, Delhi singer Philip. She is the promoter of Delhi's Match Up, and she promotes a lot of self-love. My special greetings to you, mother, in quotes. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. Just forget about the grudges or the wounds and try to love each other. By so doing, we will be having a growing society, we will be having unity, we will be having comfort, and we will be having love. See you next time. God willing, do stay tuned to DBS Television.
Coronavirus is not an imagination or an invention. It is a real threat that spares no one. We are already counting so many casualties the world over. The situation is serious, and we individually have the choice to scrupulously respect prescribed norms to preserve lives or die by mortgaging the lives of others. Therefore, our responsibility is strongly solicited in rigor and discipline. To stay safe, we need to regularly wash hands with soap, cough or sneeze on the elbow or on a handkerchief. Use a disposable tissue. Greet each other without shaking hands and avoid embracing. Avoid close contact, or better still, respect the 1.5 meter distance from others. Stay at home, and above all, voluntarily self-isolate and consult medical personnel in case of cough, flu or fever. Together, responsibly, we will defeat coronavirus.
Waouh! Quelle beauté, quelle richesse! Nous avons vraiment de la chance d'être Camerounais.
Terre d'espoir, terre de joie, terre de bonheur vrai.